me tell you this. Another perspective. This is the fourth perspective. I'm giving you the fourth perspective of that statement. This is the threat. This is the journey to one Africa. You know, President Macron, a lot of Africans hate this guy. The President Macron says France will end its military presence in Niger and pull ambassador after coup. So France is bringing back its ambassador and diplomats from Niger after tension between the two countries escalated. France had refused to withdraw its ambassador as ordered by the new, let me say, military regime, because I don't like the language these news are using. The decision comes after the Niger military government accused the UN Secretary General of favoring France, leading to Niger's limited participation in the UN's annual meeting of world leaders. Oh my God. I love this. The 1,500 French troops in Niger will be gradually withdrawn by the end of the year as military cooperation between the two countries had been suspended since the coup. Guys, but it is very important to hear what exactly the President Macron said. So this is what President Macron said. I wanna share with you guys what he said and to hear your thoughts. What are you guys saying about it? All right. This guy is a funny guy. It's really funny guy. Really, he is a funny guy. He said this. He said this. He said, this is what he said. President Macron. He said this. We are putting an end to our military cooperation with the de facto authorities of Niger because why they're putting so because this guy, I feel sorry for this guy. They don't want to fight terrorism anymore. Think about that statement. This is the president of the country, guys. This is the president of the country, and he says we are putting our troops, 1,500 troops away from Niger because they don't want to fight terrorism anymore. I really love reading between the lines. All right, think about this. Just think about what he said. He said because they don't want to fight terrorism anymore. Think about that statement. And we're gonna start with that statement, and then we'll dive into other stuff here. Because they don't want to fight terrorism anymore. You guys, let me know, what do you think about that statement? We're pulling out our troops because they don't want to fight terrorism anymore. Maybe because you are the terrorist. So if you're out, of course, they don't want to fight you guys. All right? They don't have any need to fight terrorism because you are the terrorist. You are the terrorist. So they don't want to fight terrorism anymore because you are. So if you get out of Niger, then they're not going to need to fight you guys. You're out of the country. Think about it, because when you're talking about terrorism in Africa, we think about the people who are holding guns and killing our people. No, don't think about that. Think about where are these guns coming from. Think about the supporters of these terrorists. Who are the supporters of these terrorists? Who are empowering terrorists in Africa, or our fellow brothers and sisters in Africa, to fight against their own people? Who empowering them? Who are giving them weapons? Who are giving them power? Why these guys will never solve the situation and the problem with terrorism, Boko Haram, Al-Shabaab, and all these other, why we never solve these issues? Think about, where does their power coming from? Don't just think about, you look at these guys, they're looking like black looking guys. Think about, where does power coming from? So he says, the president of Macron, the president of France, he says again that, all right, we are going to pull out. This guy, man, this is the president of the country, guys, the president of the country. And we think only African leaders are dumb. We think like that. But guys, let's be honest. This guy is dumber than a lot of our leaders. All right. He says, because they don't want to fight terrorism anymore. That's why we're pulling out our troops. Guys. Yes, they don't want to fight you. You are the terrorist. Look at the numbers of people that have been killed in the western part of Africa, in the country of Niger, in the country of Mali, the country of Burkina Faso, in all these countries. Look at the number of people that have been killed because of you. Who is the terrorist? You are the one. We don't want to fight you guys. We want our country back. So get out of our country. So he's basically addressing and confessing at the same time. You say they don't want to fight terrorism anymore, and you don't know that you're talking about yourself. Why do you think they're kicking you out? Because you're not fighting against terrorism. You're supporting them. You're helping them. Because you're not the part of the solution. You're the part of the problem. That's why they don't want you in the country anymore. They can't fight terrorism in their country while you're there because they know you are the terrorism. They've been trying to do that for so long time, but they failed. Because you have established yourself in that country for so long. The age, the number, the years of independence of Mali or Burkina Faso or Niger is lesser than the time that France has been in those countries. Those guys have been during colonialism, and after colonialism, they never left. So no matter what kind of system you're going to create in your country for your people, it's not going to work because there's an old system that has been there before and is still there today. So they don't want to fight you because you are the terrorist. And now they're kicking you away. Okay, let's look at the other perspective of this. Because they don't want to fight terrorism anymore. So in another perspective of this statement, basically, President Macron is saying this. He says that we have been in your country and we have been helping you fighting the terrorism in your country. And now, instead of thanking us, instead of appreciating us, fighting your own battle, taking down your terrorist groups in your country, now you're kicking us away. So basically, you're kicking us away because you don't want to fight the terrorism in your country. Basically saying you cannot handle it. That's why I say they don't want to fight it. Who told you that they don't want to fight terrorism anymore? No, this is not about they don't want to fight terrorism anymore. This is him saying that you cannot handle fighting these guys. Well, the good news is this, that even you, Macron, you did not handle it well. Even you, Macron, you did not handle fighting terrorism. Because they've been there, even though you've been there for such a long time. But still, the problem has still continued to escalate day after day. And you were there. You were there. You haven't been helping at all. You've been a part of the problem. They don't want to fight terrorism anymore. Basically, he said that you guys cannot handle it. The good news is you did not handle it as well. That's why you're being kicked out. That's why you're losing your influence in Africa. That's why Africa is waking up and kick your ass out of Africa. Oh my God. You know, we have a group, right? We have a SNOA group, WhatsApp group, and somebody shared one very disturbing video the other day. This video, I can't show you guys here. This is very disturbing video. This video, according to what this person said, it's a video of one African, it's a lady, one African lady. She's completely naked. You know, they took her clothes off, and this is friends. somewhere in the region in the France. This lady, so she's hiding herself. She's laying down like this. And then you have a bunch of, you know, white people surrounding this lady. She's at the center. And you know what they do? They're taking turn. One guy came and he's literally peeing on this lady. Peeing. And then another lady came peeing on her. And then another lady came peeing, like publicly, guys. This is the video. It's in the WhatsApp group right now, as I'm saying. Peeing. Like, we can't share it because it's, man, I watched that video and these, a lot of people surrounding, man, nobody says anything. They're taking turn to pee on a young African girl. She's there in one of the region in the France. And then this guy is saying that, please spread this word. These guys, they're supposed to be held accountable. Man, we can't even share that video on social media. We cannot. I can't share it because just watching, looking at that video, man, it's, you're looking at it, you think maybe it was the time of slavery. No, it's not the time of slavery. It's today. This video is there. If you're in the WhatsApp group, probably you've seen it, but I lost strength. I saw that video and I lost strength. One region in the France, I lost strength. These are our people. These are how our people are treated out there. But sadly, I say this all the time, sadly, this is what's happening in here. You go to Congo, UN peacebreakers are killing our people. 43 people 2 weeks ago, they were killed. Guys, I will never stop talking about that. 6 months ago, 12 people, they were killed. For the past 25 years, more than 10 million Congolese have been killed. Yes, they fought against themselves, and also have incidents like this happening. This is one country in Africa. You have West Africa, you have these countries, you know the number of people that have been killed. Last year, I had a conversation with Malian. He told me, man, for the past like 10 years, more than 100,000 people have been killed. In just Mali and many more. I say the same thing in Niger. These are data that we know. But there are things we don't know. This is happening in the continent. This is happening in Africa. If this is happening in your own land, in your own home, what do you think is happening outside of Africa? In this video, let me see. I can't share with you guys this video. I cannot. Like, I can't, man. But this is happening. It's out there. This video is there, but just me with this platform, I cannot share with you guys here. I would love to share it with you because we must see. We must know what is happening. We must see. I know we don't want to see sometimes. This is too bad, but you must see that that person down there, everybody is taking turn to pee on her because she's an African, because she's black. Everybody's taking time to be, and she's completely naked. They put her, man, it's like all days. She's there at the center. We must see these things, that person is you. It is you. That's all about Ubuntu. So when these guys stand up and say, we're pulling our troops out of Niger because they don't want to fight terrorism anymore, you guys, you failed to fight terrorism in Africa. You failed to fight terrorism in Niger. You failed because you are the part of the problem, because you are the terrorist one. Don't think about the person who is holding gun. That person has a motive. That person has another person behind them. It's kind of like when you see these soldiers and army and whatever in Africa, they ain't doing nothing without the instruction and the command from the president or the leader of the country. Of course, in this context, it's kind of different because they're doing on their own time. They just decide to do something. They take over the guy and do that. So in this case, it's different. But in most of democratic countries, these guys, they cannot move without a say. That means you can't hate the soldier who has been commanded to kill somebody. You gotta hate the commander, somebody who has ordered them to do something. And that's what is happening in Africa. Like, we just see things happening, but there's something behind it. That's called the system. I call it the system that is behind it, that is forcing these people to do what they do. That is forcing our leaders not really working for us, not really sacrificing, not really putting their lives on the line to work for the people, not really sacrificing themselves to do what is right for the people. Let me tell you this. Every single year, more than 10 million to 12 million Africans, young Africans, are going to the labor force out there. Yearly, every single year, guys, 10 to 12 million Africans. But guess how many jobs are created in Africa yearly? Only 3 million jobs in Africa, in the entire continent of more than 1.6 billion people. Job creation is only 3 million. And yearly you have 10 to 12 million young Africans. And maybe the number right now is more than that. Why? Because we have politicians who are focusing on doing what is good, but not doing what is right for this continent. This continent, guys, this continent, let me tell you this continent, soon after the independence, this continent, most of the countries in Africa, they were much richer than most of the countries in East Asia and in Asia, and in so many different parts of the world. More than them. For example, let me give you these data for you guys to hear. Let me give you this data because I gotta give you guys the evidence for you guys to understand, all right? And you know this. You know this. This is not something, you know this. So, in 1965, Nigeria was richer than Indonesia. Ghana was richer than Thailand. And Uganda and Zambia were richer than South Korea. 1965. This was just soon after the independence. So I can't say that this richness of these countries, it was there because of African government. No, it was not there because of African government. Definitely it was there because of colonial rule, British colonial rule. In Nigeria, in Ghana, in Zambia, and in Uganda. These countries are richer than today. Look at South Africa, South Korea. Where is it at today? So this was 1965, but the country were there. We're richer than these countries. But when we took over, I'm going to say something very difficult here. This development, it was brought by them, first of all, because we gained our independence. For instance, let me give you this data. For instance, all right, Ghana won their independence on March 1957. Nigeria, 1960 on October. On Uganda, October 1962. Zambia, October 1964. You can't say that was enough time for them to develop themselves in the period of that time until 1965 to be richer than these countries. So definitely these developments were brought because of colonial rule. But since 1965 until today, Africa went backward 1,000 times. And South Korea, Thailand, Indonesia, those countries are there. You can't compare today with our countries. You cannot. And why? Why is that? Why is that, guys? Why is that? The biggest problem in our continent, it is the leadership, politicians. Because we're going backward. So today, you have Africans in the continent. We say they're illegal migrants. You have a war breaking out in Sudan. People are being killed. Sudanese, they leave, they move. They try to find a better place to live. But you know, when they go to other countries, some of them, they're being stopped. Some of them, they're killed. Some of them are going to prison because you guys are illegal migrants. You don't have passport. You don't have visa. How can you come to this country? What kind of ridiculous is this? This is the ridiculous mindset of our continent. How can Africans be illegal migrants in their own country? No freedom of speech. If you speak things like this, you're enemy of the state. You will be targeted. Government is not working for the people. If you dare to say anything, they'll bankrupt you. Your bank account will be closed. You'll literally be sent to hell alive. You're sent to grave alive. Like, you are in the midst of, like, am I living or am I dead? Life becomes harder than death. And to be honest, that's the truth. Living is more difficult than dying. You just die in a second. But living, this is what's happening in Africa. And as a result, Africans are living. are running away from Africa, running away from their own countries, running away from this beautiful continent that God has blessed us with. Running away. Let me give you data, guys. Let me give you data what is happening. Let me give you data, all right? So, in 2013, the data say this, in 2013, more than 2.9 million people from Africa lived and were living in the developed countries. 2.9 million. But in the period of 10 years, right now, 10 years, guys, from 2013 to 2023, today, that number has grown up for more than 50%. More than 50%. People are still living. We say this is the brain drain effect. People are still living. People are running away from Africa, running away from their own continent, running away from this place. And let me tell you this. Let me give you that, how this is very affecting the economy. And this is strategic. The leadership to be bad, people to run away from the continent, to find a better life somewhere there. Some of them to get scholarship, the best scholarship for your life, to go there. When you go there, you're being employed right away if they find out that you're bright and smart enough. Some of people here in Africa, they're leaving. Some of them are targeted because they're smart, they're bright. They've been given citizenship to go to other countries. And they go and say, we're finding for life. We're searching for a good life. So we're going to the United States, to Canada, to British. You see a lot of green visa and all the stuff. We're just living. There's a lot of opportunity online all the time. How people are leaving. They're running away. But let me tell you this. Let me change that number into finance, all right? I studied economics. So Africa, this is how much Africa loses. Africa, this is estimation, is losing, estimated is losing $2 billion. $2 billion, guys. $2 billion through brain drain in the health sector alone. Just one sector, health sector, Africa is losing $2 billion US. I always give this an example. If you go to the United States, you find more than 13,000 Nigerian doctors. But go to Nigeria. Same thing, go to the UK, you'll find that. Through health sector alone, Africa is losing more than $2 billion US. How do you expect Africa to develop? How do you expect Africa to break out from this, whatever, this deep hole we are in it? That's why Trump, he called Africa shithole. Do I believe it's that? No, it is not. I don't believe that. But why? There's people running away. What is the problem? What is the issue? They find for a better life somewhere else. They're running away from wars. You can't blame these people. You can't blame Sudanese. You can't blame them. They're finding a better life somewhere else. You can't blame them if they're running away. They're going to Europe and then dying at the Mediterranean seas, and our people are dying everywhere. You can't blame them because when they go to another African country, are locked up in prison. They don't have visa. They don't have passport. What the heck is that? What is passport? What is visa? That's why I say Africans can never be illegal immigrants, illegal refugees in Africa. They're not illegal immigrants. They're not refugees. They're Africans. And this is their continent and this is their land. Rightful theirs. Let's go back to this damn guy, Macron. All right. So he says they don't want to fight terrorism anymore. Another perspective of that. I've given you two perspectives of that statement. What did he say? They don't want to fight terrorism anymore. I'm giving you another perspective. Another perspective of that is for him not taking responsibility for what he has done. It's him not being accountable for what he has done. It's him running away from being responsible. And let me tell you this, man, the atrocities that has been done, the damage that has been done in our country, in Africa, by France, these guys, they will never be held accountable. And you can see just from his statement, he said they don't want to fight terrorism anymore. The reason why we're leaving, because they don't want to fight terrorism anymore. So basically what he's saying this, that the reason why I was there to help them to fight terrorism. That's why I went there. That's what he's saying. He said, the reason why I am leaving Niger, I'm pulling my troops, 1,500 troops away from Niger, because the reason why I'm pulling out, because they don't want to fight terrorism anymore. So basically what he's saying that I was there to help them to fight terrorism. Now they're kicking me out. So whatever that is going to happen to that country is up to them. But let me ask you this. Is it true that France was there to fight terrorism? Is it true that these troops, 1,500 soldiers, were there to fight against terrorism? If that is the case, why that terrorism is in Niger and is not in France? Let me tell you this. Think about this. Why that terrorism is still happening in France? If France, because you don't see terrorism happening in France, that means they're good. They have a good system. They have good soldiers who fight, who defend the country, and terrorism never happened in their country. So the same soldiers who were defending France came to Africa, Niger, to fight against terrorism. 1,500. But they never get rid of terrorism. Never. Think about this. I don't want to, you don't have to just, what does it mean? What does it mean? If you guys, and we see this not only with France, we see this with Americans as well. You guys are really good at fighting against terrorism. While you are here, you have a military bases in Africa. More than 20 different countries has military bases in Africa. More than 20 different military bases are here in Africa. Foreign military bases. You guys are here, but terrorism, you never get rid of terrorism. Why? In your country, oh, you can do it very well. We don't even see terrorism happening in our, the last one we remember was 9/11 in the United States. Even though there's so many conspiracy theories, I don't want to go to that. Because a lot of innocent people died. I don't want to go to that. That was the last time I remember. But in Africa, every single day, and you are here to fight against terrorism. It is the time, not just to kick France away, to kick Americans away from this continent. To close the military bases in Africa. To close them. Because if you're so good at fighting terrorism in your countries, but why not in Africa? Now Macron says the reason why I'm pulling out my troops away from Niger because they don't want to fight terrorism anymore. Because they don't want to fight terrorism anymore. Did you want to fight terrorism in Niger? So just think about it. Think about this. And you know, this terrorist guy, when you support them, they're going to attack your country too. So you've been supporting Africa. Why those guys, they don't go and attack your country? Why they don't attack your countries? They just keep attacking African countries. Why? Why? Guys, think about it. Why? Why? Who is the terrorist here? You are the terrorist. You are the terrorist. You're not here to support Africa. You're not here to defend Africa. You're not here to protect Africa. You're here to suck the blood out of Africa. And Africa is bloodless now. Blood, guys, is life. When you don't have blood, you don't have life. Taking away everything. Taking away everything. And today you're standing there, you're president of the country. What kind of damn statement is that? You fool. I've never seen, man, this. You're a leader of a country and you say statement like that. Man, what kind of damn mentality is that? This is a damn mind I've never seen. Because you don't want to fight terrorism anymore. Running away from responsibilities. You fail. You are part of the problem. The old president of France, he said this. Once he said that it's a time for us to admit that the most of wealth that we have here in France, it is because of Africa. Africa sustained France for so long. And hear me out, you French people. Hear me out. Because one of the places that has a deep and dark racism is France. And you do not know that you're walking on the roads. You do not know that you're using electricity. You do not know that the resources that you have are coming from our continent, from those people that you're racist toward them. This video, I've seen that this video that is they're peeing on an African lady who is completely naked in front of the public in one of the regions in France that I've seen. You do not know that that blood, that person, those people. Man, just think about it. You are a lot of people peeing on an African lady, public, and she's completely naked. You put her at the center. Imagine what that lady, what's going on in her mind at that moment. Imagine what she's thinking. She cannot move because this girl should be killed if she moved. She just need to, man, these are Africans. These are our people. Do you guys want to see this image to understand? These are our people in France, in the United States, in parts of this world. These are our people being humiliated. A lot of diaspora right now, they want to come back to Africa. Last week, I just had a meeting with one of the organizations. African diaspora, they want to come back home and they want to collaborate. So what can we do? We want to learn from you guys. We want to know that, because when we're coming there, we don't want to just come as a boss, as we know it all. No, we want to learn from you. We want to merge with you. We want to collaborate with you. We want to do good for our motherland because we are tired. We're moving away from these countries. Let me tell you this. Do you think most of them are willingly just leaving? They just wanted to leave? Man, let me tell you this. That is their home. Yes, they're Africans. They originally came here, but these guys have been born there. It's not an easy thing to just move away from the US or Canada or Europe to move back to Africa, and you were born there. That's why your fathers have been there, your grandfathers have been there. It's not easy. That is your home. It is your home. Yes, this is your ancestral home. This is your motherland, but that is their home too. It's not easy, but why they're leaving? Because they don't have a choice. A lot of them, if they had a choice, they would choose to stay behind. Because it's their home. It's their home too. It's their home. They were born there. Their family are there. Their father, their grandfathers, the grave, they were buried there. Their ancestors were buried there. They went there, they built those countries. Our ancestors, they built the United States. A lot of them, they died. A lot of them, they were killed. A lot of them, they were raped. A lot of them, they were barbecued. Our people. It's their land. They died for that country. They give everything for that country. And they fought to where they are today. Yes, things are not perfect, but they fought for what is happening today. But they are leaving. They're walking away. Do you think it's an easy decision to do that? Walking away from that? Because they don't have a choice. Okay, the choice is kind of like moving back, but because there's nothing else they can do. It's either you stay and die or live and survive. That's the only option that our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, they have. Stay and die. Live and live. That's the only option. What are you going to choose? What are you going to choose? Yet, when they come here to the continent, the system is not welcoming them. They still feel like they're foreign in their own motherland. I'm not talking about those who come here with their own agenda. I'm not talking about those who come here and make this place as Western countries. I don't talk about those who came here and make this place as a prostitute house. I'm not talking about that. If you're one of them, I ain't talking about you. I'm not even going to collaborate, even associate myself with your ass. No, I'm not going to do that. You come here, I'm talking about those who are here. They want to see their home being well established. They want to see the development. They want to solve the problem of 10 to 12 millions of Africans who are searching for jobs. They want to bring the skills in Africa. Bring back the brain drain that has been taken away. They're bringing it back to Africa. They're bringing life to Africa. That's what I'm talking about. Not bringing the agendas of LGBTQ to Africa. They ain't going to welcome you. For God's sake, we're going to fight you here in the motherland because this is our home too. We're going to fight you. Not bringing those agendas here. No. I want to see that. Guys, I'm all over this. I'm all over the place, man. Because this guy, Macron, it's time for him to go. Honestly, it's time for him to go. Not Africa or African Union need reformation. No, France needs reformation. What kind of leader you guys have? Is that a leader? Because they don't want to fight terrorism anymore. That's what I'm emphasizing on today, guys. Just that statement. Forget about everything he said. He just said that we are taking our troops out because they don't want to fight terrorism anymore. That means you guys, you don't need our help anymore. Oh, let me tell you this. We never needed from the first place. You just forced yourself to be here. We never needed you. We know your agenda. We know what you've been doing to Africa. We know what you've been doing to our people. And we're not staying silent anymore. Not afraid of you. It doesn't matter what is your name, whether it's UN, whether it's... And look at this. This is what the news says. This is what it says. It says that the decision comes after the Niger military government accused the UN Secretary General favoring France, leading to Niger limited participation in the UN army. So these guys, they say, you guys, UN, you guys are favoring France, favoring them. We have been, you know, UN, what do you guys believe in, UN, United Nations? What do you guys believe in? Do you believe in the sovereignty of the countries? If you do believe that, we can decide whatever the heck we want to do with our countries. And when we decide, you must respect that. Don't try to force your democracy on us. Don't try to force your agendas on us. Don't try to force your satanic agenda on Africa. No, respect Africa's stand. And let me say this, guys. I want to say this. I need to address this because I see a lot of leaders, a lot of people that we trust in Africa. They say this. They say, this LGBT agenda is not our topic. It's not our priority. I ain't gonna say even it's not our priority. That's not even a direct language. All right. We don't have to run around the bush. It's not a direct language. It's not about this is not our priority. No, we don't want it. That means if it's not our priority, it could be like they'll wait for 10 years, 20 years from now. They come back with the same agenda. Say, okay, what about now? Now you develop. Is this your agenda now? No. It's not about, oh, we cannot address this. This is not our priority. No, address it. It's not your priority. No, address it. I said this. This is what I said at the beginning. Good is not good enough. The problem we have in Africa and what is happening in Africa because, and not even in Africa, humanity is in a huge crisis right now because you're focusing on doing what is good, not what is right. We should ask ourselves, is this right thing to do? It is the right thing to do. It is the right thing to do. Right, guys, right is right and wrong is just wrong. Just like evil is evil and pure is pure. There's no binary line there. It's as simple as that. Right is right and wrong is wrong. If we say we don't want LGBTQ agenda in Africa because it's wrong and we don't want it, it's simple as that. This is not our priority, man. It's not our priority. It's not something that we want to talk about right now. We don't want to talk about it right now. It's not our priority. What is your priority? What have you done with that priority? If your priority is about development, do you have development in Africa? You don't have priority. Africa, you don't have priority. That's why these guys, they can come with an agenda and want you to do anything. Let's be honest with ourselves. We can't talk about priorities here. We don't have priority in Africa. We don't have. That's why we achieve nothing. That's why we are where we are. That's why these organizations, United Peace Breakers, are killing our people in the continent. These friends, people saying they don't want to fight against terrorism anymore in their country. No, you are the terrorists. That's why I'm kicking you away. What is Africa's priority? France withdrawing, there's news just happening right now, withdrawing ambassadors' troops from Niger after coup. So you guys, you remember that this guy was talking about, you know, ambassador and everything, that he said, hey, you guys are not there, you are there illegally, so we're not going to remove our ambassador and everything. But now, you know, friends, first of all, let's just shout out to the resilience of our people in the western part of Africa. Because regardless of all the threats from ECOWAS, all the threats from France, from US, from all these countries, regardless of all these guys, they stood still. And the matter of fact, I was here the other day and I was talking about the agreements that these three countries, three nations, have come to an agreement: Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. They say, you know what, if you come after one of us, you come after all of us. That is the unity we are talking about. Today, friends, they're running away because of that determination. Do you see what unity can do to our countries? Let me tell you this, I'm not naive. I don't think that things will move smoothly here, because that another perspective of they don't want to fight terrorism anymore. Let me tell you this, another perspective. This is the fourth perspective. I'm giving you the fourth perspective of that statement. This is the threat. They don't want to fight terrorism anymore. This is the threat. Think about that statement. It is the threat. I hope I can remember, man, because these things are just coming out right now. The first perspective, I believe I said, they don't want to fight terrorism anymore. It's like, oh, man, I need to go back to this video as well to see what I was saying. Because I remember what I said. The another perspective, it is like, okay, you guys, you don't want us to help you anymore. Another perspective, it was, they don't want to fight terrorism anymore. It was, okay, if you guys remember that, please just write those four and drop in the comment section. Help me out, and then I'll read them out. Because, man, I don't remember what I said. Yeah, but this is the fourth perspective. That another perspective, this is the threat. They don't want to fight terrorism anymore. That is the threat. Let me elaborate why. The reason why we're leaving, it is because they don't want to fight terrorism anymore. That means they have given up terrorism. This is an unsolvable issue in Niger. They've given up. They don't want to fight it anymore. They're ready for terrorism to do whatever the heck they want to do in their country. They can do whatever they want to do. They don't want to fight it anymore. It is the threat. So basically saying that you will see what terrorism are going to do to you. You see what terrorists will do to you. We are leaving because you don't want to fight terrorism anymore, and we were there fighting terrorist groups for you. Now we're leaving because you don't want to fight them anymore. Now you're on your own. It is a threat, considering that this terrorism we're talking about is themselves. So I don't expect to see things moving smooth, because when they were there, they were being accused that you guys are supporting these terrorists. But how sure you are that they're not going to keep supporting them while they're not there? How sure you are? And we're not going to be able to accuse them anymore because they're not there. They say, you guys kick us out. Yes, we're out. We're out. But terrorism is still there. The matter of fact, things are getting worse, because that's what they want to prove. That you kicked us out, things are getting worse right now. How sure are you that they're not going to be supported by them while they're not there in Niger? How sure are you? I'm not sure. I know everything is possible, even that it is possible. They don't want to fight terrorism anymore. It is a threat. It is the threat. So it is the time for Africa to wake up. And I'm so glad with these three countries, man, because now they sign an agreement. They say, let's fight against this together. I wish Africa, the entire continent, sign this agreement. I wish the western part of Africa, the West Africa, sign this agreement, because the terrorism issue is not just there, but in Nigeria, it's a big issue. Side of West Africa, you guys have Boko Haram there. East Africa, you have Al-Shabaab. Everywhere. It's a big issue. It's a big problem. It's the time to sign those contracts. You come against one country, you come against all of us. We're going to hunt you down. We're going to take you down at any cost. By any cost, we're going to do that. It is the time for Africa to wake up and to sign those contracts. It is the time for Africa to wake up and to sign Africa right now. One Africa right now. Guys.